Hi, my name is Keith, and I am known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to talk to you about worry and how worry is an actual idol. And most people are worshiping the idol of worry, the spirit of worry, the demons of worry. Because when it comes to God, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lead not into thine own understanding. All you need is this much faith. This much faith. You don't have to have, that's the thing. God doesn't for the people who have 100% faith are the ones who get rewarded the most. But for the people who are holding out, this is how much you need to hold out for. And people are not honest with themselves. People are flat out not honest with themselves. I'll tell you that right now. People are like, well, I trust in God. No, some people don't. They'll worry all day and night, and they'll speak nothing but worry into their existence, and they'll live a horrible life. They'll live with problems on top of problems, with things getting worse versus getting better, because they're speaking into the existence. You ever hear someone say sometimes, like, oh, things are always getting worse? That's because you've manifested that. I rebuke that energy. On the behalf of whoever says I rebuke that energy. People like, oh, for example, some people are not as successful because they think that whenever they're supposed to get successful, and whenever they seek success, something else is supposed to happen after that. That's a limiting belief that kills manifestations. So, for example, when someone sees a check of $20,000 and they're like, oh, now something bad is going to happen because that always happens when something good happens. No, it doesn't. Get rid of that trash belief. And yeah, I'm going to be very straightforward on this. So people worry and worry and worry and worry. So there's people who worry. That's the thing. When you worry, you literally manifest more worry. If you're just stuck on worrying about your problems, you're going to manifest more problems. So worry, 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 worry. You better not be speaking that loud into existence, because when you constantly worry, you're creating more problems for yourself. You're stressing yourself out. You're aging yourself. You're killing yourself. So, and that's the thing. God will let us do that because He's trying to let us know the consequences of our own actions. Sometimes you guys see it. Most of the times you don't. And that's the thing. It's incredibly harmful to your relationship in God, with the Most High God, when you trust in Jesus and you're just worrying. So you say, yeah, it's two-faced. It's two-faced. And I'm going to say it just like that. You're like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I'm going to do this. And you're like, I don't trust. God's not going to help me. You have two sides of you. Cut it into one. So, and this might scare some people, but that's why people are living certain circumstances. But once you identify that is a worry, the biggest thing is find your worries, find what you're worrying about, and just make an affirmation with the help of the Most High God. Take whatever you are worrying about and flip it around. For example, if you're worrying about, people are worrying about TikTok getting banned, and I said flip it around. God's taking care of it. But people decided to discard the Lord. People took their faith in God, and I know people who post Bible posts every day. I've unfollowed every single one of them. And yeah, I'm feeling it today. I'm like, ooh. Because I see these people who say, people who are trusting in God, they stop posting about God and they post about how much they worry, and they post that basically they discarded God. They took God and they just basically threw their faith out. And it's disgusting. So yeah, I'm a little bit, I'm not upset. I'm kind of like feeling it. I'm feeling what my angels are feeling. So, it's a disgust. And it's actually how people's entire year is going to go. And there's a whole other side of people who, I'm not just talking about TikTok alone. I'm talking about everything. Because people want to worry. And sometimes God will send you a small, little, tiny test. And if you worry, you fail the test. And that's the thing. People fail tests, but they don't know they fail tests. That's why they keep saying the same lesson over and over again. 15 years, this is the thing, you can have 15 years of nothing but friendships ending until you finally focus on that one friendship that you have and then ask God for help with it, and guess what? It's covered. But people don't even think about that. It's inherent nature of humans to not think about that. But for example, relationships, love lives, I'm going to talk about family dynamics, for example. Like, people butting heads in families happens all the time, especially after the election. Okay, and I'll say it. So people are butting heads with their family after the election because all the crazy energies, versus people devote themselves to that problem, that family dynamic. They want to go back and forth. End it. If you're worried about what the other person has to say, shush. Just be quiet. Shut up. And I'm like, oh, he's being mean. No, zip your lips. When you want to say something that you're not supposed to say because it makes you feel better, then the other person in your family dynamic will say the same thing. They'll go back and forth, and now you created a bigger problem because you worried about what they had to say, and you worried about what they thought of you versus what the Most High God has thought of you. And this is a wake-up call to some people. Wake up. And that's the thing. I say worry is an idol. It's an actual idol. You made a manifestation of worry, and it's backed by spirits and demons. You think beings of light want to be around you when you're constantly worrying? You think they're going to calm you down like that? A little bit, yeah, but they get sick of it. Angels get sick of it. They're like this person doesn't trust us all. It's what if you're in a, this is the thing. What if you're brother and brother, sister and sister, brother and sister, sister and cousin, whatever, and you say to your cousin, okay, can you prepare dinner for me? And you're like, yes, but maybe they're new to cooking dinner, but they know exactly what they're doing because they're following a recipe. You're like, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't know about the food. I'm just going to order out. They cook for you. You don't eat the food because you didn't trust them. How do you think that's going to impact your relationship? Number one, that person won't want to be around you. Number two, that person just wasted resources on you. People just beeping at each other. And that's the thing. Do your part. And that reminds me, do your part. Someone's cooking hash browns in one of those apartment buildings. I can smell it, but I have a good sense of smell. I fast a lot. But the one thing you have to do is take your worry and just throw it in the garbage. And the biggest thing is, the biggest step in identifying it is because idolizing worry, it becomes a living manifestation. Demons, spirits, etc. Oh, a helicopter. I have to be silly because I'm being so serious in this video. Helicopter. Yum, yum, yum. I'm kidding. But that's the thing. Find what you're worrying about and cut it off. So to act is one thing. I'm going to tell you something right now. So when TikTok got threatened to be banned, which it truly didn't, I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry at all. But then you take action. So you take inspired action, but you don't worry. So when you see it banned, here's what you do. I made some other platforms. I made a Twitch. I made other apps or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So I didn't worry about it. And yes, I'm just like, okay, and that's the thing. When I felt like worrying, I'm like, I just made a counter affirmation. I'm just like, okay, I know it's not getting banned, so I just trust in God. That's it. That's an affirmation. So you can make that an affirmation. All your affirmations should be through the Lord. So I'm going to help you right now. Take whatever you're worrying about right now. If you think it's the rent, say, no, I don't have to worry. Just basically, if you're worrying about the rent, say, I don't worry about it anymore because now I'm making double. I'm making triple. I'm making quadruple. I'm making that much more. And if you don't believe it, just all you need is this much faith. So stick with that story versus the story of you constantly worrying. Because if you're looking, the thing is, when you ride a horse, you'll be told when you ride a horse, if you look at the ground, you're going to end up in the ground. You're going to fall off the horse and everyone's going to see you and it's going to hurt. Versus if you're looking into the distance, the horse is going to take you into the distance just by default. So it's not in your timing, it's in God's timing. So when you worry, it says to God, I don't trust you. I'd rather worship my problem. I think I know more than you, God. Because when you worry and you constantly worry and you're not talking to God about it and you're not giving it to God and you're not rebuking it, you basically say, I think I know something God doesn't. And I think I could do something a little bit different on my behalf and on my part to basically do something that I think that God doesn't know. Do you know how, the thing is, and I'll have to make an entire video of different cases and scenarios where people worry in the Bible. This is the thing, we're in a grace period and the Lord died for our sins. So basically, look at Exodus, look at Numbers, look what happens when people started worrying. And that's the thing, it's a whole different time period. God doesn't punish us like that, but we still get punished when we worry. So that's the thing. Moses didn't make it to the promised lands like that because instead of actually hitting the rock as God told him to, he struck it. So it wasn't following directions, so he got himself into trouble. It's a little misdirections, or little not following the correct directions, and that's what happens. All the people worried, and they rebelled against God. They rebelled against each other. And those people got exactly what they wanted because God promised it to them, but they worried so much to the point where they got punished while they had it. And it essentially was taken away. But that's the thing. The nature of human is to worry, so I can't tell you guys never worry. But learn how to transmute your worry. Learn how to really feel that worry and release it. Because it's a good feeling when you worry about something and then you say, God, I trust you so much. And the thing is, no one's going to be perfect, but you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. And there's rabbits behind me too. You don't have to be perfect. And that's the thing. And I'm going to say that right now. Whenever someone says, oh, I'm not perfect, I can't do that, that's escapism. If you're trying to abandon what you're doing because you say you're not perfect and you're trying to run away from that, that's not helping you any. So take responsibility, take accountability. Be accountable for your own actions. Track your thoughts. The thing is, your thoughts are destroying most of you. So I'd like to go throughout the day and see what you're typing. What are you communicating with people? What are you asking about? Because if you ask about something, that's a form of worry. If you're constantly checking the news, constantly checking the TV, it means you're not sure about something. It means that's the energy of uncertainty. And whenever you're uncertain about something is when you can be knocked down. So if you're not certain and you keep guessing, that makes you unsure. What happens when you're fighting someone, or if you're in an MMA match and the other person is unsure of what they'll do next or what you're going to do next? You're going to beat them. So same thing in vice versa. That's the same thing in vice versa. Same thing with a warrior. If a warrior has a sword and shield and he knows his attacks, you can't have that sword and shield and be like, and you can't stutter on it because, like, well, I don't, and then you just not be sure. So have absolute certainty. Practice saying, this is the affirmation through the Lord. I am absolutely certain through the Most High God that this situation is solved. It's not going to be solved. It's already solved. God's not just taking care of it. It's already done. But you undo it. So in a future timeline, I'm going to tell you a little secret. You're alive right now in future timelines. That's why when you get a Florida Stone Man custom necklace, you see changes before the necklace gets to you. It's because you're alive in the future right now. That's why when someone dies, you can feel it when they're about to go. That's why you have dreams of when they're about to go. It's because that happened in a future timeline. Can it be stopped? It depends on how many layers of the timeline has been peeled off, but that's a thing. So have absolute certainty. Just say, I am absolutely certain, and stick with it, because you'll have the feeling, a good feeling. That good feeling will develop in your solar plexus chakra, in your stomach, and you're going to feel what it feels like to have absolute certainty. But when you keep guessing, that hurts you. So come down with less guessing. Yes, there's people rubbing the engine in the background. Okay, waiting for them to be done. You guys can't hear it, thank God, but that's a thing. When you do nothing but worry, that's a thing, you can act. So you see me in videos, sometimes looking around, am I worried about if there's someone in the area? No, but I'm doing my part. So just do the minimum of your part and God will fill the rest. God will fill the rest. So someone making a bunch of noise, I pray ahead of time in my videos so people don't make noise. So it lasts for like 2 seconds, but I'm not worried about it. So that's the thing. When you ask God for something, it's already being answered. It's already been fulfilled in the future. He's already answered it. It's answered. But you unanswer it, or you break a covenant between you and him by dividing yourself with worry. So you take your connection with God and you snap it in half when you say, I don't trust you. I think I know more. I think I actually know more. I think I know this how it's going to go. I think that you're not going to surprise me, God. That's the thing. God doesn't, it's a story. At the end of the life, when you get to the replay and the review of your life, your entire life is just a story. And it has to have some surprises. Like, it's not going to be a fun story if you don't have surprises. If you didn't trust in God and you're like, well, and the thing is, if you're trying to surprise yourself, if you're trying to do stuff yourself, let it be unexpected. Like, come on. The thing is, the unexpected surprises are happy. If you want a surprise birthday party a year ahead of time or 6 months ahead of time, and then you want to know, it's not going to be fun. You're like, oh, whatever. What if and some people like surprise like that, but let God do his surprises, because that's what he enjoys. He enjoys the story aspect because it adds to your story as well. It adds to your deeds. So at the end of your life, when you get into heaven, or when you don't get into heaven, hopefully you guys get into heaven. I'm prophesizing to the people who watch my videos get into heaven, because that's what I'm prophesizing. I hope most of you do get into heaven. Although a lot of people will not, I hope that most of you do. Make sure you're doing clean deeds here. And make sure you're, number one, accepting Jesus as Lord and Savior. Make sure you're doing right, because God sees everything. So there are some people who are just polluted with worry. And can worry take you to, can worry block, that's a good question. Can worry block you from getting into heaven? Yes. And why is that? It's because worry hurts your relationship. You get into heaven with your relationship and God and your deeds. But if your deeds contain nothing but worry and negative energy from you, and that's the thing, you hurt other people when you worry. That's a whole aspect of the video that I haven't talked about yet. So when you worry, people who are empaths around you will feel the worry, and you're going to freak them out. So you know that one, for example, you might have one person in your family who does nothing but worry all the time, and whenever you call them, your heart's pumping and you feel sick afterwards, and it's like, what the heaven? It's because that person spread their worry to you, and the karma actually comes back to that person. So don't be the person who spreads worry, because that's dangerous. That's a whole different topic on its own. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment sections. For all the people who have not gotten a custom gemstone necklace already, go to floridastoneman.com and purchase a custom gemstone necklace. Every single person who has purchased a custom gemstone necklace from Florida Stoneman has seen massive, tremendous life changes, to the point where they look at themselves from a year ago and they're just like, I don't even recognize that person because I'm so upgraded. I'm such in a new place and I'm doing so well. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. You can DM Florida Stoneman after you purchase the necklace, or you can Gmail me or email me or something along those lines, because I have more than one email. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.